This is a Sports Catastrophe production.
Hey there, how there, ho there. It's Jeff Cutter Diamond. Welcome you back to another Sports Catastrophe on this day. Yes, I finally found an on this day that I have not previously covered. And this is a recent one. You know, I started this series in 2021 talking about some Sports Catastrophe, like on this day stuff and birthday boys and girls. But there have been events that have happened during my current 4-year run that I, of course, overlook and have to do a video for. This is one of them. So this happened on St. Patrick's Day 2023. It's Fairleigh Dickinson and Purdue in the first round of the 2023 March Madness. And of course, on today, March 17th, is Selection Sunday, so they decided to put March Madness a week later than normal. Anywho, so Purdue was the number 1 seed in the East Regional bracket, and they would take on the Fairleigh Dickinson University Knights, who had to go through that play-in game just to get in. Now, of course, a 16 seed beating a 1 seed is rare, very rare. And it did happen once, 5 years prior in 2018, which I covered. I covered the UMBC versus Virginia game. And UMBC crushed Virginia by 20 points. It wasn't even close. At least the Fairleigh Dickinson Purdue game is close. So anyway, Fairleigh Dickinson had a first-year head coach by the name of Tobin Anderson. And a lot of people said that the Knights would be 6th in the Northeast Conference. The Knights roster was notable because they averaged only 6'1" and all that. And an analytics website said that average height of a D1 men's team by 2000 after 2006, only one team, Grambling, had a shorter average height. However, Fairleigh Dickinson would win 19 games and go on to play second in the NAC tournament. So they would face 2 St. Francis teams, one from Brooklyn, one from Pennsylvania. They were in the championship match against Merrimack. Merrimack did win the match, which would have given them the Northeast Conference and the automatic bid because, like it or not, I don't think they would have had the runner-up go through to get one of those wildcard spots into the tournament. But Fairleigh Dickinson, despite losing 67-66, got in because Merrimack was in a transition period between Division II and Division I, and because they had to sit out, that they were not eligible for postseason play. So the Knights would get in. Fairleigh Dickinson was so weak that they were not given a seed. They would have to face off against Texas Southern to be a 16 seed to face Purdue, who were one of the heavy favorites and all that. Fairleigh Dickinson beat the crap out of Texas Southern to qualify. Purdue, on the other hand, were guided by Matt Painter. Purdue was actually unranked, but somehow won the Big Ten regular season title by 3 games, which meant kind of an automatic bid in the NCAA tournament because it was one of the big conferences. Zach Edey, the man from Toronto and half Chinese, was named the Player of the Year in the Big Ten, Sporting News Player of the Year, and a consensus first-team All-American. In the Big Ten tournament, Purdue won the tournament. They were the regular season champs, but then they were the the tournament champions. So they took care of Rutgers, Ohio State, and Penn State, finishing with 29-5. They would be the fourth seed overall, if you will. Purdue was given a chance by 23.5 points, a little too high. Anyway, the game happened at Nationwide Arena in Columbus in front of 19,500 fans. So Purdue didn't have much traveling. They went from Indiana to Ohio. Fairleigh Dickinson from New Jersey to Ohio. TNT would broadcast this game, and Andrew Catalon would be the play-by-play guy. Fairleigh Dickinson and Purdue would go first, and then Florida Atlantic would face Memphis. Anyway, over 4.3 million fans watched this game. Fairleigh Dickinson started out with a 5-2 lead. The Knights were decent and all that. Fairleigh Dickinson forced 8 turnovers in the first half and would lead 32-31 at the half. Fairleigh Dickinson came through and outscored Purdue in the first few points. Zach Edey did play hard. With a minute 26 left, the Knights were up by 5. Purdue would draw a foul and make both free throws to be down by 3. Purdue had a chance to tie the game, and they decided to go for a layup, knowing darn well they could try to get some points. Unfortunately, it was blocked by DeMar Moore. And Purdue would still have a chance. They had a 3-ball attempt, but they missed and had the foul, and Fairleigh Dickinson would win 63-58, a shocking victory for FDU. And the 1-seed Purdue Boilermakers were done for. Heck, I thought Purdue was going to make the Final Four. I mean, a little bit biased because Zach Edey is from Canada. So Moore would put up 19 points to lead his team to the win. Well, Zach Edey did score 21 points and 15 rebounds. Sadly, though, they lost. Yeah, so Sean Moore did his job, and so did Dimitri Roberts. So the 9 players of the FDU Knights to play were Dimitri Roberts, Joe Munden, Grant Singleton, Ansley Almanor, Sean Moore, Joel Emmanuel, Harold Blegan, Braden Reynolds, and Cam Tweedy. Purdue had Braden Smith, Fletcher Lloyd, Zach Edey, Mason Gillis, Brandon Newman, Trey Kaufman-Rand, Caleb First, David Jenkins Jr., and Evan Morton playing for them. A lot of people said that this could be the biggest upset in tournament history because Fairleigh Dickinson's very slight underdog status. They were down by 23 points. They were given the point spread was 23 points, and Fairleigh Dickinson actually had to go through the first 4, if you will, and were actually the lowest ranked overall. And it only got to the tournament by winning the Northeast Conference's automatic bid in the tournament because Merrimack was still in their transition from Division II. Their strength of schedule was actually ranked last in Division I. And their average height was 6'1". Zach Edey is 7'4" by himself. However, what was worse for Purdue is that they became the first team in NCAA history to lose in consecutive years to 15 seeds or worse. Purdue lost the first round of the 2022 tournament to 15 seed St. Peter's, who went on a roll to the quarterfinals. And additionally, Purdue actually lost the first round of the 2021 tournament to North Texas, who were 13 seeds. So Purdue has been a 4 seed or higher in the last 3 tournaments. Wow. Of course, there's no way Purdue is going to be that low of a seed, like lower than a 4 seed in the 2024 tournament. Of course, this is being taped before the results are given on who plays who within the tournament. But regardless, Fairleigh Dickinson would face Florida Atlantic, who would pull off an upset over Memphis. And it was competitive, but Fairleigh Dickinson faltered 78-70. But you know what? It doesn't matter. FDU pulled off a massive upset as a 16 seed. What was weird about that is Florida Atlantic would take advantage of that win and go through to the Final Four on themselves. FAU took care of Memphis and Fairleigh Dickinson. Then they would face number 4 seed Tennessee and won 62-55. In the regional finals, they took on number 3 Kansas State and beat them by 3, meaning they were going to the Final Four. And they only lost the Final Four to San Diego State because of a buzzer beater by Lamont Butler. Imagine Florida Atlantic could have been in the final against UConn. That would have been huge, all that. However, after the Knights losing the FAU, Tobin Anderson shocked a lot of people by deciding to accept the head coaching job at Iona in New York, which was vacated by Rick Pitino because he moved to St. John's. So anyway, it was just huge and all that. Regardless of that, the worst part about everything was that every number 1 seed faltered by the Elite 8. Purdue lost in the first round. Kansas lost in the second round. Alabama and Houston both lost in the Sweet 16. So all four number one seeds from last year's tournament, 2023, didn't even make the Elite Eight. So that was the first time ever that happened. It's like, holy mackerel. It was one of the most shocking moments in NCAA tournament history. And you can put that to the bank. Anyhow, I'm Jeff Diamond. I do.